It is hard to think of a more fitting conclusion to 2017 for corporate Australia than the two seismic deals involving Rupert Murdoch and Frank Lowy that sent shockwaves around the world last week. As you almost certainly know by now, the two iconic, octogenarian billionaires decided to sell assets they had spent decades building up, at least in part due to concerns about threats posed to their businesses by internet-led rivals. Murdoch has made little secret of the fact he was concerned that his Fox entertainment businesses didn't have the necessary scale to compete with the likes of Netflix and Amazon, so he sold them to Disney. While the Lowys insist the upscale shopping centers they are selling to Francis Weibel Rodamco are well positioned to compete with Amazon, the narrative that online commerce will continue to eat away at physical retail remains persuasive. Even Murdoch is buying into it. I read this week about my Australian friends at Westfield. They can see what Amazon is doing to bricks and mortar retail, he told the Financial Times over the weekend. The enormous deals signify the end of an era. But they were also fitting because 2017 was a year when technological disruption, a buzzword that is often misused, but that will have to suffice for the purposes of this column, was everywhere in corporate Australia. As one of the next generation of globally significant Australian executives, Mike Cannon-Brookes, pointed out last week, every industry is being threatened by some form of digital insurrection at the moment. This year that concept, which is not new, finally moved out of the business pages, and into mainstream Australian thinking. The advent of Amazon, which terrified retail executives and investors in the sector, Elon Musk and Cannon-Brookes' intervention into the national energy debate in South Australia, and the rise of cryptocurrencies upending the established order in finance were just a few of the big stories that played into this theme. There is a belief the Murdoch and Lowy megadeals could merely represent a taste of things to come, with the theme of technology-motivated mergers and acquisitions set to continue next year. Senior investment bankers this column has spoken to say rapid technological change remains a top concern among directors on the boards of our biggest companies. This is forcing them investing more in innovation and technology. Selling assets, including infrastructure and property, but also non-core businesses, that aren't central to their business is one way to fund that. One such example could be Telstra's decision to take steps to reduce its stake in pay TV company Foxtel. A recent survey of companies and private equity firms by consulting giant Deloitte found that companies in the US expect to do more acquisitions next year. They are sitting on more cash than they were a year ago. Potential changes to America's tax regime could provide them with even more firepower, and they expect to use that cash to buy other companies. The biggest motivating factors for acquisitions, according to the Deloitte survey, were a desire to acquire technology, and the need to build out a digital strategy. The Deloitte survey dovetails with the forecast by Goldman Sachs, which expects M&A spending in the world's largest economy to rise 6% to $355 billion next year.